Have you ever looked at someone and felt like you could see their deepest secrets, their hidden fears, their traumas, the mask they wear to face the world? Well, imagine if you actually could. Today, we're talking about a manga that takes that concept and twists it into one of the most unsettling, profound, and unforgettable psychological thrillers you will ever read. Hideo Yamamoto's Homunculus. Now, before we dive into this mind-bending journey, do me a huge favor. If you're a fan of psychological horror or just incredible storytelling, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more manga recommendations. Seriously, it helps more than you know. Alright, let's get into it. Homunculus follows Susumu Nakoshi, a former elite businessman who now lives out of his car, a self-imposed exile from society. He spends his days in Shinjuku, often mingling with the homeless community, but is constantly judged and misunderstood. His life takes a bizarre turn when he's approached by a mysterious, wealthy medical student named Manabu Ito. Ito offers him a proposition. Be the subject of trepanation experiment. So trepanation would be drilling a hole in the head, in the skull, for a hefty sum of 700,000 yen. Nakoshi, desperate for cash to reclaim his car, reluctantly agrees. The experiment works, but not in the way anyone expected. Nakoshi doesn't gain a sixth sense, as Ito theorized, but rather a horrifying new vision. When he closes one eye, he can see people's hidden emotional and psychological traumas manifested as grotesque, distorted figures, their homunculi. These aren't simple hallucinations. They are a visual representation of the subject's deepest insecurities and emotional wounds. The story follows Nakoshi as he begins to help people by confronting their homunculi, but his actions are never altruistic. Instead, they are a means for him to understand his own fragmented past and the lies he tells himself. The manga descends into a deep psychological spiral as Nakoshi's sanity unravels, forcing him to confront the ultimate homunculus, his own. At the heart of this manga are two fascinating and deeply flawed individuals. Susumu Nakoshi. He's not your typical protagonist. Nakoshi is an amnesiac, pathological liar, and a deeply narcissistic man who believes himself to be superior to those around him. His journey is a reverse hero's journey. Instead of becoming a better person, he descends further into madness as he tries to piece together his past, only to find that the person he was is someone he desperately doesn't want to be. He helps others not out of compassion, but because their homunculi are a reflection of his own issues. Then we have Manabu Ito, the medical student who sets everything in motion. Ito is equally complex and disturbing. He's obsessed with the psychological and spiritual world, and his initial cold, detached demeanor hides his own emotional turmoil and a fractured identity related to his family life. His relationship with Nakoshi is a twisted dance between experimenter and subject, both using the other for their own selfish pursuits. Homunculus is a divisive manga, and for good reason. Let's talk about what makes it a masterpiece for some, like me, and a frustrating read for others. Its psychological depth. This manga is a masterclass in psychological storytelling. It dives deep into Freudian and Jungian concepts, exploring themes of identity, trauma, self-deception, and the masks we wear in a shallow society. It's an intellectual and emotional challenge. The unique premise and narrative. The concept of seeing people's traumas as physical manifestations is simply brilliant. The story is unpredictable and keeps you on the edge of your seat, blurring the lines between reality and Nakoshi's mental state. And the stunning art style. Hideo Yamamoto's art is simply breathtaking. It's hyper-realistic with meticulous detail that makes every character set and setting feel authentic. but it's his grotesque haunting style when depicting the homunculi that truly shines. The art elevates the psychological horror, making it visceral and unforgettable. And it's so thought provoking. This isn't a manga you read and forget. It will stay with you long after you have finished, making you question your own self perceptions and the emotional baggage of those around you. Of course, it also has its flaws. It's controversial and unsettling content. Homunculus doesn't shy away from explicit and disturbing content, including themes of sexual assault and extreme body horror. It's not for the faint of heart and can be genuinely upsetting for some readers. It has a confusing and disappointing ending. This is the most common point of contention. The ending is highly ambiguous and leaves many questions unanswered. Some readers feel it's unsatisfying, with Nakoshi's ultimate fate and his lack of redemption leaving them feeling let down after such an intense journey. The pacing and narrative focus. Some critics find the pacing uneven, with long, dialogue heavy sequences and a shift in focus in later volumes that can feel disjointed. And the unlikable protagonist. Nakoshi is not a character you root for. He's narcissistic, self centered, and often pathetic. While this serves the story's themes, it can make it difficult for some readers to connect with and care about his journey. So, Homunculus is a manga that demands your attention and respects your intelligence. It's not a fun or easy read, but it's a profoundly impactful one. It's a dark mirror reflecting the deepest and most uncomfortable aspects of the human psyche. If you are a fan of cerebral horror and are looking for a story that will truly challenge you, then this is an absolute must read. Have you read Homunculus? What did you think about the ending? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.